Welcome back to session 3 of the introduction. Next on page 11, let's look at eliminating chaos in your life and regaining a sense of order. This section is a little dry, so stay with me for a few minutes because it is absolutely essential to your success. Our world has become very chaotic. Everything is a rush. Everything is instant. Emails, texts, pregnancy tests, a newborn picture posted on Facebook, you name it. And so we find ourselves chasing after the life we had imagined for ourselves while we are living a life with high levels of chaos each and every day. We need to eliminate or at least reduce the chaos and restore a sense of order to our lives. Sounds easy? No, but it is simple, just not easy. And the change doesn't happen overnight. Take a moment to consider what causes you anxiety. A sense of being rushed and overloaded most of the time? What gives you a sense of order? For me, it can be simple things like my purse is cleaned out and organized, or my car is cleaned and vacuumed. I know where my finances are at, or even the pillows on the bed looking nicely arranged. When I am cleaning my car or pressing my blouses, it isn't car care or laundry, it is self care because these things help to give me a sense of order in my life, lessening the feeling of chaos. How you choose to approach your day, what you choose to do with your free time or weekends has a profound effect on the level of chaos in your life. The reason we have Maslow's hierarchy of needs chart in this program is not to have a deep psychological discussion, but rather to help you focus and prioritize what is important, what may be missing, and what may need more attention. This hierarchy of needs is not universal and may vary across different cultures due to individual differences and availability of resources in the area that you live in. Maslow used the terms psychological safety, belongingness and love, esteem, self actualization, and studied people such as Albert Einstein, Eleanor Roosevelt, and the healthiest 1% of the college student population. The relevance of this section is that to succeed at the highest level, you must have mastered all of the other levels without exception. You can't be living at level 4 if you haven't mastered level 1, 2, or 3. His hierarchy of needs is often portrayed with the largest, most fundamental levels of needs at the bottom and the need for self actualization at the top. The most fundamental and basic 4 layers contain what Maslow called deficiency needs: esteem, friendship and love, security, and physical needs. If these deficiency needs are not met, you will feel anxious and tense. Maslow's theory suggests that the most basic level of needs must be met before you will have a strong desire or be focused on the higher level of needs. However, we find that in our complex society today, we are sometimes focusing on the higher levels when all or part of the lower, more basic needs are not being met. Maslow focused on identifying the basic types of motivation and the order which they should be met to be certain of absolute success. What could be happening is that a certain need you have is dominating your life, causing chaos in other areas. If, for instance, you are dominated by the need for achievement, you may be letting down some areas of safety, taking risks, such as your health by overworking. You see the dominating need in teenagers to want to belong, that they will take risks with their health and turn against a safe family environment to fit in with their peers. Physiological needs. The physiological needs are the physical requirements for human survival. If these requirements are not met, the human body cannot function properly and will ultimately fail. Physiological needs are thought to be the most important. They should be met first. In a civilized world, we tend to take these things for granted. Most of us have relatively clean air, lots of water and food, and shelter, etc. All of our basic needs are met, so we are focusing on the higher levels, not paying too much attention to this level of needs. Well, as boring as it may sound, It is called Getting Back to Basics. Let's take a look or a deeper look at how this level of need plays out in today's world. You may have food, but how much and what type of food are you eating? High fat, high sugar, high caffeine? Are you really getting enough sleep or the quality restful sleep you need without sleep aids? How many of us feel as though our life and our health are completely in balance each and every day? That we are living our lives in total homeostasis without stress or anything to upset us? If you say yes to this question, then probably all of your physiological needs are being met. If no, then the root cause may be very well that your basic survival needs are not being met, even in this abundant culture we live in. Here's a simple example of how we can be out of homeostasis, which, by the way, means to be home in our natural state. You obviously have no idea what my life is like, you say. Well, here is how easy our physiological state can be challenged. Before I took a mindfulness course, I was having a terrible time getting to sleep at night, and I had committed to giving a certain amount of time to the meditation we were learning. I decided that my day ends at 9 p.m. during the weeknight, Sunday to Thursday. I spend the next hour bathing, reading, meditating, or whatever quiet activity I chose without electronics. I discovered that watching the TV or being on the computer screen was stimulating my mind, and I couldn't just get up from the TV, head for bed, and expect to fall asleep. After all, what am I missing on TV? We now PVR our favorite shows, and that works when I choose the time to watch them. Safety. The next level of need is safety and security. These include personal safety, financial safety, health and well-being, and a safety net against accidents, illness, and their adverse impacts. One of the areas in our lives that I believe may be one of the biggest culprits of chaos in our lives is financial stress. If you are struggling to pay your basic home and living expenses, then you may have a very difficult time finding a sense of order in your life. Well, the fact of the matter is, you need to fix it in some way until you can reasonably expect that your basic bills are paid. And this does not include vacations, but home, meals, and transportation. As basic and as simple as this may sound, this situation is the root of many evils and causes many issues in the breakup of relationships and family. What people don't realize that by not dealing with it, not setting it right, it will eat away at their happiness, no matter how hard they work or how much they earn. This is a simple accounting issue, but not an easy one to deal with, as we are attached to many of our material possessions, which have come to define who we are in our society and in the eyes of our friends and peers. So, what can you do differently to earn? What can you do differently to spend less? Do you need to change houses, cars, take less expensive or fewer vacations, buy less expensive shoes? What you say? Take away all of these things that I have worked so hard for? Well, I deserve them. Well, you do also deserve to live a meaningful, happy life with, satisfaction and success. Somewhere along the line, you have overspent and you need to put the balance back into your bank account. These things are not bringing you happiness. So, what is the point? You can always get them back later when they won't cause you to live in chaos. I once had a custom built 3,000 square foot home and was very happy to move in. In a short while, we were in financial trouble for a mix of reasons. I remember feeling very depressed and realizing that all those beautiful clothes in the closet weren't providing me with any happiness now, and what I wouldn't have done to have the money in the bank or a smaller house with a smaller mortgage instead. Love and belonging. After physiological and safety needs are fulfilled, the third level of human needs is interpersonal and involves feelings of belongingness. It is important for us to be able to form and maintain emotionally significant relationships, such as friendship, intimacy, and family. According to Maslow, humans need to feel a sense of belonging and acceptance among their social groups, regardless if these groups are large or small. Many people have become susceptible to loneliness, social anxiety, and clinical depression in the absence of this love or belonging element. This need for belonging may overcome the physiological and security needs, depending on the strength of the peer pressure. People sometimes stay in relationships where the basics of life are not being provided, or in an unsafe relationship due to the dominating need to belong. I had a single lady friend who was very sociable and had every last minute of her weekend booked with events and parties and meetings, and complained she was tired all the time. I pointed this out to her, that maybe she should book off downtime or quiet time. She had such an overwhelming need to belong, she was wearing herself out. This was a revelation to her. She did just that and felt much better and less exhausted. Esteem. All humans have a need to feel respected. This includes the need to have self-esteem and self-respect. Esteem presents the typical human desire to be accepted and valued by others. People often engage in a profession or hobby to gain recognition. These activities give us a sense of contribution and value. People with low self-esteem often need respect from others. They may feel the need to seek fame or glory. Unfortunately, this doesn't help them unless they are very comfortable and accept who they are internally. We have seen many entertainers who rise to fame too young, too soon, too fast, and the price they pay in their lives when they have not yet achieved living successfully at the lower levels, jumping to the higher ones too quickly. Self-actualization. The self-actualization level refers to what a person's full potential is and the realization of that potential. Maslow describes this level as the desire to accomplish everything that one can, to become the most that one can be. One person may have a strong desire to become an ideal parent, the other an athlete. The bottom line message is that to understand and live out this level of need, we must not only achieve living successfully at the previous levels, but master them. To skip success at one of the lower levels in order to focus on a higher one leads to failure long term. It just doesn't work that way. When we take care of our basic needs first, then we will have the opportunity to enjoy our success at the higher levels and the ability to realize our full potential. And see that on page 12. Take a few moments to consider these questions to help give you some clarity. What part of Maslow's hierarchy is missing or not in order for you? What would it look like if it was in order? What would be different? On page 13, what level do you feel you need to focus on to reduce or to regain a sense of order in your life? How would that improve or impact how you are living the other areas of the hierarchy? Page 14. On page 14, you can see how many choices you make in a day that indicate how much control you have over the various levels of the hierarchy. What I eat, what I drink, how I exercise, how I rest, what and how I breathe, what I think, what I say, how I react, how I love, who I love, are all choices that you make each and every moment of the day. Take care. I hope you enjoyed this session.